All right, everybody, today we are going to talk about renting versus buying this year, what makes more financial sense for you, and how to find out which is best overall. Let's jump into the numbers, but first, don't forget to like and subscribe so I can get a little notification on my phone that says someone liked my video today. All right, let's jump in. So whenever you're making any kind of financial decision, one of the things you should do is assess as much data as possible. Now, a lot of people like to make a decision off one choice, one strong reason, but that doesn't mean you should only look into one or two reasons. The best thing to do when making any kind of financial decision or any kind of investment is to look at all the factors, look at as much information, study as much as possible, and then pick. Maybe it's 3 reasons, maybe it's 1 reason, but collect all the data. Now, when most people think about renting versus buying, they think about pros and cons. Now, there's a lot of pros and cons, but we're gonna focus on the financial pros and cons today. There's things like just having flexibility, right? When you're renting. But then there's cons, like your landlord telling you in a month that he's about to sell the place and you got to get out at the end of your lease. So there's a lot of different on each side, but we're really going to focus on the financial ones and jump into those now. So one of my favorite resources for assessing the financial advantages of renting versus buying is the rent versus buy calculator at nerdwallet.com. Nerdwallet.com really crushes it. They say trust the nerds. I think every nerd's pretty trustworthy, but that's where you can go to get some great information. One thing I really like about their rent versus buy calculator, a lot of these calculator have a couple different points they have you put in, and they want to keep them really simple. This one you can keep really simple and just put the basic information in, or they open it up to a lot more advanced numbers, things like the tax breaks you're gonna get off your mortgage interest, things like closing costs. There's all these other parameters. You can even try and estimate how much the property is gonna appreciate each year, monthly expenses of owning the property. So they really let you either just focus in on the simple numbers or do what I think is best, which is one, try and get as accurate in every number we possibly can. Take this information, put it together, and see what we come out with. This will give you a timeline. If you're moving to a certain area, you know you're only going to be there for a short period of time. Maybe it's 4 or 5 years. You can get a better sense of if it makes more sense to rent or buy. Now, when I looked into most areas and looked at kind of the general clientele, price points, down payments I work with, most of the dates lied between the 3 to 5 year range when it really made a lot of sense to buy. Now, long term, buying seems to always win, seems to always crush rent. You don't get equity when you're renting. Every penny you have, you're throwing out the window that you're paying to your landlord. So buying just seems to win in the end, but 3 to 5 years is really that time. And honestly, it could be 1 year, it could be 2 years. We've had clients that we've helped literally sell properties in less than 12 months, and they've made over 6 figures on those properties. That's not renovating it, that's doing absolutely nothing. They just bought in a time where I feel like we got good value, and then there was good appreciation in the market. And if you buy around $1 million, you have 10% appreciation, 10 or 15%, and you're in there for 2 years, you could be looking at 20 to 30% appreciation. So appreciation is one of the really difficult numbers to tell. So you never really know for sure how much you could make, but you can make estimates. You can watch my video on how much I think real estate's gonna appreciate this year, and you can make your own judgments. Plug them into the nerdwallet.com rent versus buy calculator and see what you think. Hope this video was helpful. I'll put the link down below and also in my Instagram bio for maybe like a week. So if you want to, or just Google NerdWallet rent versus buy calculator, it'll pop up the first thing. It's great. Mess around with it. If you have any further questions, you know who to reach out to. Have a great rest of your week.